Hey, yo, Jay, can we get some ratchet one time?
Look, I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop. I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peace. You gon' see the flex when you hear these writtens. Trust me, you know the difference. I got a long ways to climb before you see a slippage. I see the process and the journey I'm supposed to be, but perplexed, cause I don't really see nobody close to me. Hopefully this ain't wasted and I know it ain't. You gotta take the time for seasoning to marinate. You need the patience under pressure just to detonate. I'm trying to blow up and these heathens need to get it straight. Gifted with a vision and precision, I'm just trying to make it high key. Might be breaking free like I was Zion in some Nikes. Tucked at the crib, bro, you know just where to find me. Making beats and spitting crack verses pretty likely. Yeah, socks with the burst, boy, I ain't changed a bit. Normal guy till I die, you know what it is. You probably thought I'd give up now that I got some kids, but really now I got these arrows aiming at your ribs. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop. I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas. Hey, please be on the notice, these my motives. Bought my chicken and it's rotis. You parsimonious, you take it all cause you a locust. My focus is to grow this mission. A visionary, get a dictionary. We here off the rip and we ain't sharing, we just caring. Let me speak it to the manager. We damage her, no you ain't messing with an amateur. I'm ramming, the competition ain't standing up. They fanning from left to right cause now they branded us. Now who that is? Mike Jones, they ain't want me now, they all on me. Got counterfeits trying to play me, I guess they thinking I'm Sony. These big head dummies showing up and out of their character. Homie, you need a price cause without it the squad ain't hearing you. Top of that, we ain't fearing you. We swinging for the fences with the sting of a left hook that connects with Sonny Liston. I'm dismissing any and all of the disrespect. Nonetheless, it ain't a threat, I'm just letting y'all know who's next. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the start. I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas, you gon' see the
Run it. I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my pen ready. Used to hold myself back, my self-esteem been petty. Gotta keep on chugging, ran through everything in front of me. Might smoke bed and heavy, got a whole agenda. Can't aspire to get ahead, so bump that, it's no surrender. Got a dollar flipped up, I'm trying to get it in FT to get them when they're hand and crypto. Learn how to fix that. I don't really hold out of books, but I'ma learn how to fix that. Some opportunities that never come unless you paying attention, so no, I can't miss that. Moving, MVP, I got the record, I might have to prove something. Big jumper worthy, they gon' have to retire my jersey early. Whole crew coming, had to work something, cause I had nothing in my pocket. Yeah, I did all that. Big plans, partners trying to make profits. Yeah, I did all that. Work, sweat, and tears breaking, even no wins. Yeah, I did all that. Had to make it happen. Putting hours in my practice, I did all that. Yeah, I can't take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my big dog, walking big talk, young veteran, living legend, bet I'm better than them. This is my ship, I'm a jacket like Letterman, y'all but not let them in. They gon' rotate this, so I keep the pedaling, started a chain. The cycle is heaven sent, this is from God, but I'm not your reverend, not in the pulpit. I'm a pit bull of this element, yeah. Said you gon' pull up, then settle it, yeah. I've been married to this hustle, this is my ring, watch I step in it, yeah. And I ain't even got a yard, but I'ma get it here. Watch I touch down, pulling plans out the clutch. Everybody getting crushed, the cut down is for us now. Have to work something, cause I had nothing in my pocket, yeah, I did all that. Big plans, partners trying to make profits, yeah, I did all that. Work, sweat, and tears breaking, even no wins, yeah, I did all that. Had to make it happen, putting hours in my practice, I did all that. Yeah, I can't take no loss, yeah, I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, it's my year, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my, yeah.
Coach, what's next for me, Joe? I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the f is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Space shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, though they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working, I'm up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On the road, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, Mafia. Well, listen, guys. Listen. Bitcoin got the dump to the downside. Now, as you guys know, We've been looking for that potential drop into that $80,000 range, and we even had some people in here yesterday that didn't think we were going to get that big drop down. But here we are, guys, and we've come down in an absolutely beautiful technical move through all of the liquidity that we had down below. We got a lot to break down here on the charts for you guys as we've gotten a quick pop to the upside into our CME gap, guys. We came in and we dipped into that CME gap, but we did not fill it in full. Did we grab enough liquidity to send this thing back up, or are we more likely to get back to the downside and fill up the rest of that liquidity? We're going to take a look at the heat maps. I'll show you guys where those liquidations are sitting below us, and I'm going to talk about the key levels that if possibly we get hold above them, we may be able to see a bigger retracement to the upside. But yeah, I think actually the thumbnail the other day, I think not that you should ever trade thumbnails, guys, but I think the thumbnail the other day did say about I think it said $80,000 next question mark, where we looked at this exact situation. And unfortunately, although I didn't want to see that happen, it was on the charts, and we got to be completely honest here, guys. We got to bring you that information that we see on the charts. Keep that personal bias out of here. Who cares what my personal opinion is? We're bringing you raw data here, raw information from the charts, and turns out, more often than not, if you've been around here long enough, you know those charts do wind up being right more than they are wrong. So shout out to anybody who watches this live stream every day. If you don't, start tuning in, guys. If you're new here, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel, because none of this is none of this is too much of a surprise. Now, the shorts are obviously have continued to print, and now we're just kind of got the bounce back to where we were yesterday. So I'm going to break down the liquidity, guys. I'm going to break down the key levels that we came down to, and I want to talk about the possibility. We'll take a look at Market Cypher B, see if we can get a continuation to the upside, and if not, we'll take a look at those lower levels in the next place where we're looking for those long positions. So shout out to the CandleMafia. Thank you guys for being here. Let's see. Yeah, shout out to Simano, said, these young generations are delulu. It's not a big dump. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that, guys. I'm going to give you my overall thoughts on this market. I know it really is crazy, guys. Now, again, we'll get into this a little bit more, but, is the top in? I'll discuss this in detail. We talked about this yesterday. I'm going to try not to talk about it too much because we did cover it in depth yesterday. But, we talked about coming down to this level, and shout out to anybody who saw my 2025 Bitcoin prediction video. If you guys have not seen that, go check that video out after this live stream. Go check that video out. Just watch it. And it's pretty funny because as we have been expecting this drop to the downside, sometimes I think to myself, I was talking to the premium today, sometimes I think to myself, like, am I just saying that? Am I trying to gas myself up? And sometimes I low-key fact-check myself, guys, because I don't want to be sitting up here saying we called for something if we didn't. I know we've called for this drop to the downside. Obviously, we talk about it almost every day as we've been in this range. If we break the range lows, worst-case scenario, we could come down here and not only get a push into our next big zone of support, but understanding that if we lost this range low, I know you guys can't see the chart, but if we lost that value area low, we could see an aggressive fast drop to the downside into our key level of support. And if you watch that 2025 Bitcoin prediction video, I talk about how, we've seen a lot of moves to the upside, and I talk about some higher highs and all-time high predictions, but I also, at the end of the video, said, like, listen, guys, these are long-term predictions. At the end of the day, we could see some massive volatility here, and even if we did get a drop down to $80,000 to $75,000, I would not be calling for a bear market, right? And I've just stayed consistent with that. And now here we are at $80,000. I still wouldn't say that the top of the bull market is guaranteed in here, and I'll discuss that a little bit more in just a second. But shout out to the CandleMafia, guys. Smash that like button. If we get 1,000 likes on tonight's live stream, we'll add $350 into our Solana giveaway. We already have some giveaways to do, and assuming that Tony D can tune in from his vacation to run that giveaway, we're going to be doing it at the end of the stream. I think we're going to be good to go with that. But shout out to Jay Viola. What is going on? We got Grown in here. Says, gingerly touch tips with the like button. Let's go. He's talking about your thumb tips, guys. But shout out to maybe a Band-Aid in the chat. What is going on? Said, Wall Street Mafia, I don't listen to anyone that speaks in absolutes, especially in absolute in the market. Shout out to maybe a Band-Aid, bro. That is the best advice I could give you. Anyone who speaks in absolutes, all they really doing, right? I think for a lot of new people that come into the market, they think that if you look at the bullish and the bearish case, they're like, well, you're just trying to cover yourself. But that's not the case at all, right? Like, there's a difference between just trying to like cover yourself on the bearish and bullish case and understanding that the market is unpredictable and you have to look at both situations. If someone is speaking in absolutes, it is a telltale sign that they have not spent a lot of time, and if they have, it's a telltale sign of like them not understanding how the market moves. Because if you think you know exactly where price is going to go, the best traders, the best analysts in the world could not even put 100% certainty on it, and they would tell you that if you ask them that, right? Any real trader or someone who understands how the market works, the first thing they'll tell you is at the end of the day, the market can do anything, right? So you have to entertain both ideas, and why wouldn't you entertain both ideas if you can make money whether price goes up or down? That's exactly what we do here in the CandleMafia. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to Valerie in the chat. Welcome in. Shout out to the female CandleMafia. Let's see. Shout out to Jesse, our like police in the chat. He might ask you to tap that like button. Respect him in the chat. We got Felix, Slyman, Fabian, Crypto Creek said Frankie the Bear. Shout out to Crypto Creek. Hey, I'm not going to lie. I'm happy. I was, and it is funny, right? Because we've definitely been Frankie the Bear up here, looking at high time frame money flow coming to the downside, looking for that drop down to 80K. So I have been Frankie the Bear, but at the end of the day, guys, like still macro bullish. And I'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, shout out to BTC Nation. Welcome in. Hey now from California. Shout out to BTC Nation. We got Erica in the chat, and we got bada boom, bada boom. Darren does things. What is going on? Chemistry or Rob the Crypto Snob, Tyler Jordan. You guys know who the mods are. Show them some love. And while you're doing that, smash the like button while you're at it, and I'll jump into the charts. Let's get into it. So here we are, guys. I'm going to do an overall view here of the market. Obviously, guys, if you watch our older live streams or if you've been tuning in for quite some time, we're getting exactly what we looked for, right? We knew that, come over to the daily here so we can take a little better look at this. Obviously, guys, we knew we had high time frame money flow coming to the downside. Daily money flow crossing over into the red. 2-day money flow tanking to the downside here, right? So inside this consolidation, right, the idea here is based off the technicals. Although, again, right, you have to keep in mind that you can get a move to the upside. So it's not that we weren't entertaining the fact that you could pump from here. But at the end of the day, the technicals, put a gun to my head. We have to lean on the technicals, and the money flow coming out would indicate that the downtrend was likely to continue to lower prices, where we knew that we had a lot of liquidity sitting below this range, which means, and also a lack of support, right? Which means once we go ahead and break that range low, shout out to Mrs. Candles. I already got it, Mrs. Candles. Coming in with the Aztecian Cactus Moss Water. I got the Aztecian Cactus in a clear cup here, which is actually weird. This is, this is your cup? This is the disposable cup. This is not your cup. Oh, you own all the disposable cups. Okay, shout out to Mrs. Candles. She got a monopoly on the disposable cups. So let's get that hand in here, Mrs. Candles. We need a pump there more than ever here. All right, I don't think they saw that, but there you go. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. Mrs. Candles hands in the chat, guys. But let's continue on here. Obviously, we knew we did not have a lot of support in here. We also had a lot of liquidity, which means if we break this range low, we expect a fast move to the downside, because when you get stopped out of a long position from all these people FOMO longing on the move up, when you get stopped out of a long position, it creates those market sell orders, giving you that fast drop to the downside. And we always say fast move up leads to a fast move down. We've covered that a million times here. And then we had our next major, key level of support technically coming in at the anchored VWAP golden pocket, which we're sitting at right now. But we knew once we cracked this range low here at 85.2, we would likely see another fast drop to the downside as we have this liquidation box, which is very hard to see. You have this liquidation box. Actually, they didn't even really come down all the way to the bottom here, but we knew if we broke that 85.2 level, be careful, guys, because we are likely to get not only another dump to the downside, but a fast, aggressive dump. And why would that be? It's because of those liquidations sitting down below, guys. And what happens? We break that. We get a little slide to the downside. We get a bearish retest, and then we get another big wick to the downside, which is exactly, and I don't say this to brag, guys. I say this because I want everybody to learn how we do this analysis. We knew because the liquidity in here, we knew if we tapped in below this 85.2 range, we would likely see a situation where we come sweep all that liquidity, which would give us that big wick to the downside, which I'm going to talk about in a second, because there is a situation where maybe if we could close this daily candle in a bullish manner, maybe we could see a continuation to the upside. But at the end of the day, guys, I'm really letting things, we'll dig in a minute. But just at the end of the day, guys, fast move up equals a fast move down, which is exactly what we saw. And we covered this a million times. And again, not just saying we're going to get the big drop to the downside. And again, I think I might be able to come in here in the live stream thing and see, like, when was this? This was on the 25th. And again, I'm not saying this to brag or anything like that, guys. The 25th, 80K next, right? Like, not that you should ever trade, not that you should ever just trade thumbnails, but like I do this for a reason, right? I'm not just putting 80K next because I think it's going to scare people and get clicks. I put that on the thumbnail because there's reason to come down there. And when we dance on these levels of support here and we don't hold it, there's a very likely chance that we're going to get that big drop down because of the liquidity, because of the lack of support. And where's our next real major key level of support, guys? Once you flush all that liquidity, it's the golden pocket with the 2 daily naked points of controls, anchored VWAP, right? Let's pull this up real quick. I'll pull up the daily naked points of controls, bada boom. So you have your daily naked point of control here at 81.9, right? And then you have another daily naked point of control here at about $80,000. And we got that big wick down, and we even tapped into that CME gap and a little bit of the liquidity that we had sitting down here. We had a little bit of liquidity sitting down here. We swept some of that. I'll even pull up the liquidation heat map. Let me just refresh it really quickly. But we tapped into this little CME gap / liquidation zone. We got an SFP of the low, and then we got a big push back up in here. And we are now potentially about to close a daily candle above this anchored VWAP, guys. This is what I want to see today. Which, where is my, so we have about an hour. We have about an hour to stay above this anchored VWAP. Ideally, I don't know if we're going to get it. We'd have to get a move pretty quickly. Ideally, I would like to get a daily close above this range low at about 85,212. If we could get above there, especially on the daily close, this would look really nice as we would have a nice little bull hammer after sweeping a ton of liquidity, and that could call for a much bigger retracement to the upside, targeting the same levels we were looking at yesterday. If you guys watched watched yesterday's stream or last night's stream, you will know I did take a little scalp long here, talking about how I was expecting to get stopped out of it. It was up about like $1,112 or $1,300 yesterday during the stream, but I expected to get stopped out, and I even moved my stop loss to break even during the live stream because someone had a question about that. But I moved my stop loss to break even. I got stopped out at break even as it was expected. I even said in the Discord when we looked to take the entry down here, I was like, hey guys, I'm going to take a little scalp to the upside. Maybe we come squeeze the shorts. We actually did squeeze a bit of shorts here. We had a ton open up down here. I even showed this yesterday with the on Exo chart showing all those shorts coming in, where we entered that long position and started squeezing some of those shorts to the upside. But then I just moved my stop loss to break even, and I was hoping maybe we could get a little break of these highs and these highs to get a bigger squeeze to the golden pocket, but we didn't, right? We just wound up getting stopped out pretty much as expected, right? We got the bigger drop down through all this liquidity, and I'll be honest, guys, I really want to close above the anchor VWAP, which right now is sitting at about $83,661, and then the next big level to get above is going to be this range low at 85,212. It's very, very hard, and we're going to take a look at Market Cipher B. We'll take a look at the money flow, but I do just want to bring up the heat map really quickly, bada boom, bada bing, because as you guys know, right, this is something we've been looking at to anticipate this move, right? We came down here to about 85K, right? This is when we were pretty much, we lose the actual overall range lows here. We get a sweep of that liquidity, right? We bing bong around, and then we come down to the $85,000 level. We sweep that liquidity, and then we get the bounce, and we had all this liquidity sitting down here. I mean, I would even recommend watching the past couple of days of live streams, guys, just to watch through it on 2x speed, scrub through it to see what we look for to call for these moves. There's a reason when we look for a price, it comes in more often than it doesn't. I'm not going to come up here and act like I'm right 100% of the time. That's impossible. I'll be the first person to tell you that. But when we call for this stuff, it happens because we base it off actual information. I don't just come up here and be like, guys, all season is starting because things are going up, right? Because oftentimes when things go up, it's for a small retracement before more downside. And if that's the case, I got to bring the facts to the CandleMafia. But when we look at this, right, we came down, we had all this liquidity sitting between about, $80,000. And this is kind of, actually, I'm quite surprised in a weird way because there is so much liquidity still left below this, right? I'll even mark this down to the bottom of this wick. Right. So we did, the liquidity started up here. We swept into here. We got a little SFP of this little 1 hour wick. Right, we get the wick down below, come over to the 1 hour, right? We get the wick down below, the closure above. We even got some bullish divergences into this zone before getting that push to the upside, right? But we only took a little bit of that liquidity. Only took a little tiny bit of it, right? We still have all this liquidity sitting down between about 78, leading all the way down to our next key level of support between the daily naked point of control and the 786, which is also, I believe, very close to the bottom of that CME gap. I think that CME gap ends at about, our 77,930. Bada boom. Let me actually see here. Hang on one sec. Yeah, we didn't fill this in full. We really did not fill this in full. And really, I think you're supposed to pull CME gaps. CME gaps are, I think you're supposed to pull them from the bodies. So 77,360 is really the end of that CME gap. So, yeah, I mean, we didn't fill the CME gap in full. We dipped into the top of it, which, to be honest, guys, I kind of prefer that. Right? Because if we do fill the whole CME gap, we come take this liquidity down below. We're coming down to play with the 786. And, this is really a level that needs to hold. We have one other key level in here, and it's a weekly naked point of control at about 75K. If we do get a retracement back to the downside here, right, and we tap into this level and we don't start bouncing out of this zone, guys, we really start messing with a really, really dangerous situation. Let me hide this object tree real quick, right? Because, at that point, we're really starting to dance with danger because, we've been dancing with danger for a while for the big drop down here. But if we start breaking down and we don't hold this 786, guys, or the weekly naked point of control, why did that disappear? Or hold that weekly naked point of control. I'll be honest, the only thing underneath us is the structural highs here from our 7-month consolidation range, right? Now, to be honest, this is a huge, huge area of support, right? 7 months of consolidation is going to give us some really, really good support. But that's really that's why this white line is on the chart, right? So below us, if we do get another move down, I can get rid of this wick here because we've already SFP'd it here. I did want to leave it on the chart just so I could show you guys. But We have the liquidity down below leading us into that 786 daily and weekly naked point of control. Other than that, the only thing we have left here is this white line is basically 73.8, 73.750. This is the highs from this overall range, right? So, we really, I would prefer, right? And I'm not saying this is the more likely scenario. I'm just saying I would prefer, and if you watch the live streams, I've been talking about this, right? Like, I don't really want to come down to the 786. I would much rather, I'm okay with wicks, right? But I would really much rather hold the golden pocket, because if we do wind up coming down to the 786, we're in a really sticky situation, guys, because like I said, we've been looking for this move to 80K for a while. But what do we say? If we come down here, guys, I'm looking for longs, right? I'm not panicking saying it's the bear market. I'm not selling my spot bags at the bottom. And again, this is not me saying we're 100% not topped out at 108 or 109K. At the end of the day, guys, we need QE. Right, there is not going to be. We are in a risk-off. We are in a risk-off environment right now, right? And until we get QE, we're not going to go back into a risk-on environment. Now, whether that happens at the next FOMC event, whether it really depends on a lot of macro factors. But until that QE comes in, we're very likely not going to see all these risk-on assets fly to the upside. The interesting thing is gold is pulling back as well, which is kind of weird. But the I really would prefer to hold up here in this zone because, again, if we lose this, guys, yesterday we were looking at all this liquidity saying, if we break 80K, right, we're probably going to see a pretty quick drop to the downside. And to be honest, I would have expected this. I am so shocked that we did not just jump through all this liquidity, right? We really only took about half of it. The question is, was this enough to send this thing all the way back up, or do we want to come back down and take that liquidity? Drop a 1 in the chat if you think we took enough liquidity. Drop a number 2 in the chat if you think we're going to continue to dump and grab the rest of that liquidity. But I'm surprised, right? Like, typically when you come into big levels like this, right? Like, you can see here, hot spot of liquidity, absolutely dump through it, right? Next level of liquidity, absolutely dump through it, get a little bit of a retracement, and then we come take the rest. I'm surprised that all this didn't get filled all in one shot. So I really, we obviously expect once you break 80K to get a quick drop down, but I'm surprised it didn't push you into that 786 daily naked point of control. 2. Oh, my God. We got the bears in the chat. The 2s are coming in heavy. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, man. Gold is pulling back based on the shout out to Darren Does Things. Based on that slot of countries have sold reserves and not have full account of what they should have. Shout out to Darren Does Things. Okay, that makes sense. I don't really keep up on that news, but shout out to Darren. That makes sense. That makes sense because it is weird that gold is pulling back in such a risk-off environment. I mean, you have to think about this, right? Like, a lot of big investors are holding heavy cash. Again, I haven't sold any of my spot bags, but I do still sit on a lot of cash as well. So, if this thing really dumps down, I am ready to buy dips. Yeah, man. Okay, so most people are looking for poop too. Shout out to Judge. Oh God, yeah. Most people are looking for Dumpski. It looks like, yeah. We definitely got more 2s and then 1s in the chat. Oh my God. But yeah, I mean, listen, guys, we're gonna go over that case, right? Again, if we can't. Right, at the end of the day, we've come down, we swept the liquidity. Right now, we're hopefully we could close the daily candle above this anchored VWAP. But again, I would really like to get above 85,212. But if we do get the move down here, guys, once we get into this liquidity, probably going to be a quick drop down into here. But I'm not saying it's the less likely situation. I'm just saying it's my less preferred, right? Because once we come down here, it gets sketchy, guys, because listen, if we, and again, it is strong support, right? We have a weekly naked point of control, 786 daily naked point of control, and all of these structural highs. This is very likely to be strong support. However, once you come down here, guys, if we start losing these levels, it really becomes a sticky situation because if I hide some of these naked points of controls, obviously, I feel like I'm just repeating myself time and time again because we've been looking at this for so long. We're just now finally seeing it play out. But we start losing this range. I mean, we start losing this these highs, right? Like we have an ability to potentially get broken back into this value area, right? And it's very hard to call when the bear market really is, right? Like in my opinion, you have to look at QE. It's not as simple as just like we're down 50%, it's a bear market, right? And again, even if that is the case, if 109K was the top, it really depends on what you classify a bear market as, right? Are you just classifying it as like a higher time frame downtrend? Because if you're basing it off of market structure, right? Like technically, like we're still beautifully intact here, right? Like, it's crazy that, like, not every, I guess people were calling for the bear market down here, which is crazy. We also came out then saying this is definitely not the bear. I didn't say it was definitely not the bear market, but I said, I don't fall in the camp. This is crazy to call this a bear market, right? Like, we just got a massive rip to the upside. Bitcoin has been going up and to the right for quite some time here, guys. But we have not broken any significant structure here. We broke this range, but at the end of the day, we still have an opportunity to come up and make some higher lows, right? And it does come in on some macro fibs. But at the end, let me go ahead and hide this real quick. Bada boom, right? So if I could just go ahead and pull this fib, right? The fib that we're looking at is pulled from, let me pull up the daily, pulled from here, right? So from here to the high, right? We are looking at this golden pocket, right? And it kind of simplifies things, right? Like, it's better to look at, like, the fibs and, like, your key levels, and then pull up the actual, the nitty-gritty levels. So I'll pull up this. I'll pull up the range low here. Whoops. The range low, right? So we're bing-bonging around the golden pocket and the range low. The goal here is maybe we SFP the golden pocket, flip on top of this range low, and that's where we could potentially come up and retest the bottom of that range, right? But if this anchored VWAP does not start to, if we lose that anchored VWAP, which is, by the way, pulled from August 5th. Come on. I need a new mouse pad. It's just skipping me here. There we go. Right, the anchored VWAP pulled from August 5th, the August 5th dump, where the last time people were calling for a bear market, right? This is a huge level. If we could close the daily above that, that would be good sign number one, get above the range. That's where I think you could see a potential retracement. If we break down below here, guys, and we get stuck under that anchored VWAP, definitely still possible to come down here to 75K. I hate to say it, right? I hated to look at 80K, but here we are. And again, I would say here, we'll take a look at market cipher B. It looks like we might be able to get a little retracement up, but absolutely key. Anchored VWAP, 83,750. Must close above that, right? And then get above the range low. If we lose it and that anchored VWAP turns to resistance, that is a situation where we might go for that bigger drop down. And remember, we have the liquidity, right? So, like, this is where you want to add some more stuff here. But just from a grand higher time frame perspective, this is not bear market, right? Like, I'm not saying we are not in a bear market, but you can't just say because of this dump we're in a bear market. That's not how the market works, right? Like, it's not just like, oh, we got a big dump, this is the bear market, right? There's so much more to it than that. But at this point, right, we've been looking at this scenario for quite some time. Guys, if we break through all these lower ranges, we have all that liquidity, no support until that golden pocket, we could see a situation where we get a really scary drop. People are calling for the bear market down here, and we just put a higher low in and send it off to all-time highs. Now, do I think this is the most likely scenario? We'll take a look at market cipher B. I mean, until we see higher time frame money flow start to shape up, I know this is a difficult situation, right? Daily money flow in the red. This is what made us bearish all the way up here. Still holding my shorts from much higher. Do I still have these on the chart? I think I do, somewhere. Where they at? Oh, this is why I couldn't find anything earlier today, because I moved all this stuff down. But yeah, golden pocket and 786 retracement, like, this is possible. Right? And again, I'm not saying, I will take a look at, if I think this is likely. With the higher time frame, daily money flow, 2-day money flow also, like, has been a warning sign ever since it started coming down aggressively here, right? Daily money flow was the early signal, right? I mean, not even when it crossed over, but pretty much when it started coming out here, right? Like, even as we were approaching these highs, we were very, very careful because this money flow is very clearly trending to the downside. Money flow very rarely lies. Shout out to somebody, get Crypto Face in here. Shout out to Crypto Face. Money flow never lies, guys. It never lies. And when it comes out like that, the opportunity for a continuation of lower lows and lower highs is very, 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 very probable. This is what made us look at this as a situation. And this is why people who say that is crazy to see that happen just don't know what's going on, right? And that's okay. That's why if they're here to learn, right? You're in the right place. But with the 2-day money flow coming out now, we have to look at this as even if we do bounce off this golden pocket, until this money flow starts to shape back up, we have to look at it as potential lower highs and lower lows. And again, it's hard to say if we're going to come down to that 786 now, retrace and then come down there, or what's going to happen, right? At the end of the day, there's a million scenarios, right? No one's going to be able to guess exactly what's going to happen, even though we do that very often. You can't do it 100% of the time. We could bing bong around here for 2 months, right? Maybe we bear flag out and get another drop to the downside. Another thing I want to bring up here, guys, is when we look at the fractals, we were looking at this fractal yesterday. Do I still have it on the chart here? Let me see here. I think I have it on one of these charts. We looked at that fractal yesterday. The title of the video was, the title of the live stream was Bearish Pattern Returns. Where can that bearish pattern bring us down to? Well, very simply, guys, we were looking down towards, I don't think I have it on here anymore, but I will just pull it up real quick. right? We pulled the fractal from the 2021 bull market. This was another thing that made us think that maybe 80K could come in. And potentially lower. I actually think if you line up this fractal, obviously, where we at? Bars pattern, bada boom, and then we'll bring it, maybe we'll just bring that whole thing in here, right? And let's bring this over to our current price action. Shrink her up, right? And bring her on up here. So let's see. So yeah, we were looking at this yesterday, right? And again, this is not something I base trades off of, but we were looking at this as like pretty much the same exact price action, right? This fractal is almost identical to what we were seeing, right? Almost identical. You get the move up, the little wiggle down, move up, back, sweep the highs, and then you come down. You bear flag out, another drop to the downside. And when we looked at this yesterday, I'm not gonna try to like line this up absolutely perfectly here, guys, like I did yesterday. But this does wind up bringing you down to about $78,000 to $76,000, right? So again, was this the low? I don't know, but it's just looking at this, right? This fractal is like literally almost identical to what we saw happen. We literally pulled this up yesterday, and it was calling for a move down to those lower levels to the bottom of our support zone. At 80K with the daily naked point of control down here, right? 80K and potentially down to the 786, sitting closer to 76K. So, at this point, it's very hard to call. I would say higher time frame. I would still, if we get a bigger bounce, say close the daily above the anchored VWAP, close the daily above the range low, or maybe we just hop up here and get a pump over the weekend. I would still have to look at this as lackluster retracements to the upside. Why? Because of our money flow on the higher time frames. It's the same thing as what we looked for up here, right? Money flow crosses into the red on the daily. We look for the continuation down, right? It doesn't guarantee it, but it's very high probability. So with that being said, that's what we're looking for. Locally, you really want to hold on top of that anchored VWAP, which, to be honest, red dot looking to print here on the 90-minute red dot is also looking to print. So maybe we get a little bit of turbulence here. It's not looking good. We got 45 minutes to close the daily candle up here, or, it's not looking good to get above this range high. Maybe we close it on top of the anchored VWAP. We'll know by the end of the stream. But I don't know. It looks like we could locally pull back here after a big move like this. You kind of have to let things settle, right? Like, unless you're taking, maybe I will take an aggressive setup here. But at the end of the day, we're kind of just like free falling, and we need some structure to build out here so we can get a better idea of what's going on, right? Like similar to when we came up here. Right? It gets very difficult to like analyze this, right? When you're in this actual price action, right? You need some kind of development, right? You need a range to form, or you need some kind of structure. So at this point, really the only thing I'm looking at is a close above the anchored VWAP and the range high. If we lose it, keep in mind, right? Keep in mind what we're looking at here, right? And I want you guys to remember, because I don't know if it goes anything like it's been going for the past few weeks, or how it typically goes on this channel. We might see it play out. So, whoops, bada boom. Right? Just understand, if we come back down and we lose 80K, the liquidity starts at about 78K. If we start tapping into there, we may sweep that liquidity into our next key levels of support. Weekly naked point of control, daily 786. If we lose this, we might even hang out down here, right? But like, I don't want to come down here. Like, this is really where I'm sitting on the charts, and I'm saying, listen, we're back down to these range highs. And again, that wouldn't be a bear market, right? Technically, right? At the end, really, like when it all comes down to it, we could potentially see something really brutal, right? And again, where do you want to call a bear market? It really depends on how you classify a bear market, right? Some people classify a bear market as just a trend to the downside where the bears are in control, right? You could look at a daily chart and say, well, this is a bull market because the bulls are in control, right? Or you could say this is a bear market because the bears are in control, right? But when I mention a bear market, I'm talking about a traditional 4-year cycle bear market, right? That typically between the top and the bottom, more often than not, is about 361 days, right? So, are we about to go down until, where we at? What does this bring us to? Are we going to be going down till January 2026? I don't really fall in that camp, but you bet your bottom dollar, guys, if we start breaking these highs and we break into this lower volume profile, I'm going to come up here and be like, well, guys, now, right? And I doubt this will happen without a retracement, right? Like, I don't think we're just going to come down here if that happens. But, if we don't hold this 786, like, this is an area. If we are looking at this from a basic market structure perspective, we're looking for higher lows. Where's the higher low likely to come in at? We'll pull from your local low to your high, right? Or your significant swing low to your high. Golden pocket 786 is where that price is likely to put in the higher low for the bounce, right? So this is an area for that to happen, right? We have not broken monthly market structure, right? So, that's where I stand. I said when we come down here, I'm not going to be calling for a bear market. Everyone's going to be calling for a bear market, but I will be looking for longs. That is exactly what I'm doing. Doesn't mean that I'm 100% saying this is not the top, though, right? If we come back up for the bearish retest on our main value area low, right, and we get rejections in these key levels that we looked at yesterday, which, by the way, these still stand true. These have moved a little bit, right? But yesterday, if we did get the bigger retracement from yesterday into the golden pocket 786 POC, like still your key levels of resistance, if we get a bigger retracement, you got to be careful here. Money flow coming down the higher time frames, guys. Potential lower high, potential lower high. This is possible, right? Just like back in the day, we were saying this was possible. This is possible too, right? But we'll just have to see what happens. We'll see what happens over the weekend. I'm not in a long position right now, unfortunately, even though we had a setup down here in the premium. I wasn't at the computer when it happened. It was before I got on the chart, so I didn't get that entry. So I'm letting things settle down here. I am still holding my shorts with most profit locked in. I'm basically stop loss in profit, profits locked in. Those are guaranteed runners, whether they play out or they don't. If they get stopped out, I make massive profit on those shorts. So I'm just waiting for those to get stopped out and profit at this point. And if we come up here and get bearish signals, I may even look to add to them. So we have to reassess the situation. If we come up here and things look better, then maybe we can look for a continuation up. If you just like don't spend a lot of time on the charts and you just want the key level, POC at 97K about, right? $97,000 POC. Flip that to support. That's your doorway to that's your best bet, right? Like until we flip this level to support, there's no need to be calling for all-time highs. Sure, if we, I'll be honest, guys, I was kind of tempted to buy Ethereum on spot, which we're going to take a look at Ethereum in a second, which is sitting at our key level. But, I was tempted to low-key pick up some spot down here, if I'm being honest. Not financial advice. I'm not telling you to buy spot down here. I'm just saying, with the sentiment and the fact that we've been expecting this level for so long and we got that big liquidation wick, right? And we're just here for a potential higher low. It was hard for me to not buy spot down here, but just to be clear, right? If I bought spot down here and we went, like, it's okay, right? Like I would be willing to hold that long term, right? It's spot Bitcoin. But that's is my vision going blurry or are there two anchored VWAPs there? Oh my God, that hurt my eyes. I thought there was thought I was going blind. Yo, shout out to Tony D. Thank you for the super chat. Said I'm making pizza dough with my AirPods. I am on standby for giveaways. Shout out to Tony D. Shout out to Tony D. We're gonna whisper in your ear. Can you feel my breath in your ear, Tony D? Shout out to Tony D. But let's see. Let me see. Let's make sure we can get any super chats. Oh, we did. Yo, shout out to maybe a Band-Aid. Said 100% facts. Also, not my inhaler. Shout out to maybe a Band-Aid. I don't know what inhalers are. I don't know what you're talking about. But shout out to maybe a Band-Aid. Thank you for the super chat. And we got oh, hang on one second, guys. I think I'm going blind right now. I don't know how to say your first name, but I'm going to call you Priochi. Shout out to Priochi. Says, Frankie, help. Short on Solana from 133. What to do? Shout out to Priochi. We'll take a look at Solana. Unfortunately, I can't tell you what to do with your trade, but I'll try to give you some TA that'll help you out. But yeah, we'll talk about it in just a second, and hopefully we can spit some game for you and give you some insight on how to handle it. Not that I would ever give you financial advice on how to handle your trade, but I'll tell you what I would do in your situation. Let's see. Shout out to Istaphobic. Said we got bears out here. Oh God, bears in the chat. If you guys think we're going down to 70 to 75K, let me know. Shout out to Brian. Said a bear market is initiated with a 20% from the highs, and it ends when there is a new high. Any other subjective definitions are bogus. Yeah, I mean, that would be, I think it's like more for like the stock market, right? Because if you look at that, right, like I hear people saying that like on TikTok and stuff, like we're officially in a bear market. We dropped 20%. We have seen more than a 20%. Then that would mean that, right, like this is why I don't agree with that, right? Because then you would have to call, and not that I don't agree with that, but because again, right, like you could say a bear market, this is a bear market, right? Because the bears are in control. But then at that point, right, like imagine going by that, right? And then you get a 30% dump to the downside. Oh, it's all over, sell your bags, it's going to zero, right? And then you just go in to put in massive all-time highs. That is why I disagree with that, right? Or not that I disagree with it. I guess you could consider that a bear market too, right? Like, oh, bears are in control because it's a downtrend. But the reason I don't go by that, right, is because of situations like this. Like we see 30% dumps in the market before putting in all-time highs, right? So yeah, like maybe for the stock market, that's a little bit more accurate. But we see 20% pullbacks in bull markets often, right? It's like very, very common. So like what happens if you go, like if you're thinking this is the bear market, right? Like imagine if I was calling for a bear market here. All right, guys, wrap it up. Bear market's here, right? Which we weren't, right? People were saying, Frankie, this is the bear market. What are we doing? Oh my God, is the top in? And I'm like, guys, like you have to take you have to have a long-term outlook, right? Like the only, like we barely peaked over the all-time high here, right? And like, yeah, like, I don't know. Thank God I don't go by that definition, right? Because I would be telling people this is a bear market, sell your bags, and then like thing rips, right? So yeah. Again, sure, you could call that a bear market, but that's not what I classify. If you classify this as a bear market in crypto, you're going to be like selling the bottoms constantly, thinking that it's going to go to zero. So yeah, that's why I don't really go by that. That's not that I disagree with it, just I don't go by that, right? When I think of a bear market, it's a traditional 4-year cycle bear market, right? So hopefully that makes sense. Because like then you have like bear markets all the time, right? Like so that was a bear market. That was a bear market. That was a bear market, right? So you got like 3 bear markets, but really that's not how it works, right? Like this is just consolidation, and then you get another big leg up. So yeah, I guess you could call them bear markets. I just look at this as like, hey, this is the bottom of the range. I'm going to long this thing back up to the high. Does that make sense? Let's see. Yeah, Bitcoin kind of never goes in a bear market. That is for sure true. It's like a micro bear. Like these are little micro bear markets. But yeah, like if you're considering 20% a bear market, this is a rough market for, crypto's a rough asset to invest in or trade, right? Because you're just like, oh my God, bear market, sell. Oh my God, right? I've been in this market for a very long time. This is a bear market. A 70-something% drop on Bitcoin, 80 to 90% or more on the alts. That's a bear market, not a 20%. This is, again, I'm not going to come up here and say that this, isn't the top, right? I do think that's possible. I don't fall in that camp, but understand, I've been holding true to this since we've been up in this range, right? If we drop down to 80K, I'm not just going to call for a bear market, right? To be honest, right, I wouldn't even, if we drop down to the 786, I wouldn't consider it a bear market, right? Because at the end of the day, these are all technical areas where you can put higher, like you're not breaking any significant structure still. But I will say, this is not a situation I want to deal with. I do not want to be in here dealing with this, right? Because it's going to be a very, very, very hard situation because you're thinking like you're kind of teetering on the edge of potentially getting a drop down to 50K, right? And then if you did that, right, well, I wouldn't say, yeah, but like 55K. At that point, right, if you're down there, then you can maybe consider that a traditional bear market, right? You're down 51%. But then come on back to 2021. We've had 50% dumps before we had the dead cat bounce, or 55% dumps before we get the dead cat bounce back up to all-time highs. So again, this is why I don't call bear markets after a dump, right? Because it's like you can't really do that. The last time we called the bear market was on this retracement to the upside when we had clear, high time frame, bearish signals already confirmed with weekly money flow coming out, right? That's where we call the bear market, right? And I did. It's all on the channel, right? But what happens here? Oh my God. And to be honest with you, 55% dumps are not common in a bear market, in a bull market. This is often. So if people are saying, oh my God, it's the bear market, we're going down to 3K, think about all the people that would sell their bag at the bottom here before just sliding back to the upside. Maybe a mini bear market, you could call it, a little mini bear market. Like you could call the C19 dump a little bit mini bear market. But yeah, like I talk about cyclical bull and bear markets, which in this case, right, you could be open to a drop, potentially a 55% drop down here, right? And like that's not going to be a traditional bear market, but it would be a lot of pain for a lot of people to feel, especially if they're buying up top, right? So if you're feeling like this is a bear market, probably bought way too high, or you got into altcoins a little too early, or you went a little too heavy into altcoins a little too early. But that's totally fine, right? So yeah, it's you're not going to know you're actually in the bear market until like you could say like here. I'm trying to think of like how we were looking at this, right? Like very, very bearish signals, right? Money flow coming out on the weekly. That's typically the start of the bear market, right? So it's like, guys, we're probably not going to 100K, right? And you do get the retracement, right? Get out of the spot bags that you didn't sell in profit, hopefully, right? And then just let it dump to the downside. I personally don't think, even if this turns into something like this in 2021 before going back to the upside, hopefully making new all-time highs, maybe it's something like that. I just don't, it really is dependent on the economic it's dependent on QE, right? Like if we're on a risk-off asset, a risk-off environment right now. Until we're on a risk-on environment, crypto's not going to pump, right? So maybe we range around, maybe we bleed out slowly. But me personally, I'm willing to hold on to that, right? Like, I bought much lower. My Bitcoin was bought at $20,000 to $21,000, or 20 to like 22,000, right? So like I'm okay if we come down here. I'm not tripping, right? I have a long-term outlook. I'm looking to hold my Bitcoin for a long time, but I'm not like, I'm really not worried. But I'm not going to sit here and say this is definitely not the top, right? But I'm in a different situation. I'm like very, I've been in this market for so long, guys. These dumps really don't bother me. As a matter of fact, like, made a ton of money on that dump with the premium Discord, right? So you just start to see it's like if we do go into a full bear market and I have to hold, like I do still have a lot of cash on the side, but like if we do go into a full like 4-year cycle bear market and I have to hold on to my spot bags for longer, like I'll just keep trading this. You have to understand, like, I believe in Bitcoin. I'm not going to sell my Bitcoin at the bottom. I just know eventually you're going to hold your spot Bitcoin and eventually it's going to go back up. That's one thing that, like, if someone said it's 100% certain, I wouldn't roast them, right? Like, usually when people are like, it's 100% not going to 80K. I'm like, okay, tell me you don't know what's going on without telling me. But if someone said, just hold your spot Bitcoin, it'll eventually go back to all-time highs, unless, like, quantum computer figures out how to, like, hack the Bitcoin network, that's pretty certain. Right? Or at least a bet that I'm willing to make. So, if this thing dumped down to 50K, I'm still up on my Bitcoin bag, my spot Bitcoin bag. I might just buy more and hold it long term. But again, like right now, structurally, there's really nothing saying that we are definitely going into a bear market. But again, I'm never going to sit here and say it's not possible. So let's see. People are tripping. Not even a big dump. Yeah, shout out to Simano. Yeah, it's crazy too because like I go on TikTok, guys. Like, there's no requirements to become a TikToker, right? Like I see people on TikTok like, this is officially the bear market, and it's like maybe it is, but the way they say it with such certainty is like, I don't know. Like, knowing what I know, I'm like, yeah, dude. Like I don't know, right? Like, I don't know. Right, like I mean, like if we went into a traditional bear market, guys, right? Like, and again, I'm open to this, right? Like, as you know, I'm an agnostic trader, and I recommend you be an agnostic trader as well. So the only way you're going to make money. Anyone who just calls for 100% upside or 100% downside, and you might as well flip a coin, right? You could take your puzzle pieces, do your TA, and come up with like when we look at 80K, right? Like 80K next. Like, well, a lot of things are pointing towards 80K, so it's very probable. But if we got a pump and no dump to 80K, I'm not like, how did that happen? We were supposed to go to 80K. It's just like there's a case to be made for upside and downside. And this is how you make money in the market. If you don't look at the market like that and you just want up or down, rethink everything because you're not going to make money like that. I promise you. But if we look here, right, like just measure these, right? Like I've done tons of videos on this. 85%. Right? That was in 2017. These are rough, right? I'm not pulling these to the exact wicks. 78%, right? Like, so a total bear market here from the high of about 109.8, right? Like, if we were to go down to, say, 27K, right? Around 27K and hanging out down here like that, that would be like a traditional bear market. Hilariously enough, I'd still be in profit on my Bitcoin. But yeah, like, sure. Like, if you think it's the bear market, this is what you're betting on. Right? And maybe that happens, right? I'm not going to sit up here and tell you just because, I know how to do TA and I'm good at it, that this is impossible to happen. Me out of anybody will tell you this is for sure possible. Anything is possible. This thing could scream up right now and go to $300,000. Like, nobody knows where this thing is going. We can only use TA to come up with a thesis and then put the odds in our favor, right? And it works out more often than it doesn't. And right now, there is nothing really saying that we're going to 27K. So unless you're calling for like 27K, then it shouldn't be. If you think it's going to 27K, then say that you think we're in a bear market and we're going to 27K. That's fine. I mean, hopefully that doesn't happen. That would kind of stink. But just be careful, right? And there's things like C19, right? I think we need to like shake out the idea that influencers can just like call for the bear market and say it's there. Like, just go back to last cycle. Everybody thought it was going to 100K as we were going into a bear market, right? And this was before I had my channel. So, like, I'm over here thinking to myself in private, like, I don't know why everyone's calling for 100K. Like, huge monthly bear div. We're at the point in the cycle timing-wise where the top is typically in. Sentiment made a bearish divergence here. We had massive retail come in, massive social sentiment peaked, and then we put a higher high in on price, and all those other metrics made a lower high for a massive bearish divergence. And we had technical bearish divergences on momentum. We had tons of money flow coming out, right? And, at that point, I'm just thinking, like, I don't know why people are still calling for 100K. It's crazy, right? Like, I think There should be like don't listen to if the top is going to be in from an influencer because they have just as good of a chance of calling it than you do unless they're looking at charts. But even then, they're not 100%. Me, I'm included in that, right? Like I'm not 100%. If I say this is not the top, do I have a good chance of being right? Probably. Am I definitely right and you should make your decision based off that? Absolutely not. You should not listen to any influencer, not even me, right? I know it's hard when the TA plays out a lot, but you should never just copy trade someone or invest in, like, look at the meme coins. Like, guys, we made a meme coin for our community, and it's going to be the best thing. And it's, like, so funny with the meme coins because it's always like, we're going to do it right, guys. Ours is going to have utility, and it's really going to be for the community. Doot, 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 doot. Breaking news. This influencer rug pulled their meme coin. It's like, it just never ends good. So it's just like, you should, and like what happens to everyone who just listens to their favorite influencer? And I wish you think I'd come up here and be like, listen to your favorite influencer, buy my meme coin, right? But this is coming from me. Like, don't do any of that. It's never a good idea. And it's the same thing when it has to be, when it comes to TA or it comes to any kind of investing. You have to take the information. Sure, my TA can be super helpful, and it is. Tons of people make money using our techniques that we teach and maybe even the levels that we give. But you have to do your own research as well and make your own trading decisions, right? You have to trade your own plan. Because for me, I'm not panicking here, but I bought Bitcoin at 20K. Right? So that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be panicking. If you bought at the top, maybe it would have made sense to cut your losses up here before the bigger drop, right? So you have to trade your own plan. Everybody's in a different situation. Let's see. Shout out to TDK, said, a pest is my middle name, but can you check last SC? Am I tripping? Shout out to TDK. What does that mean? You don't have to super chat again. Just drop it in the chat. And Kembro, if you could keep an eye out for that and see what he says. Shout out to TDK. Let's see. We could skip ETH today. Shout out to Nirvana. When Phoebe Coin. Shout out to Rag Capital. Oh, no, Phoebe Coin. Guys, buy Phoebe Coin. Buy Phoebe Coin. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to King David, said at all-time high, you guys were bullish. So how the heck are we short from the top? That doesn't make any sense. Let's see. Do you think it could be a retest of the candle close trend line on the monthly chart? Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess you could draw a trend line here. It's a pretty aggressive trend line, to be honest. But even then, like, does that bring you down? Ooh, retest the highs. I mean, at the end of the day, right, if you're not using fibs or anything, like if you were just using simple support and resistance, right, like coming back down to retest these highs would be, somewhat possible, right? And then maybe, you could call that like a little mini bear market, right? Bring it down to 70K. But at that point, it's like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Shout out to Istaphobic, said, you gotta pump it up. Pump it up. That's my favorite song. Shout out to Istaphobic. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's see. Shout out to Jet, said people were euphoric 2 months ago. Now they're bearish. This sentiment flip-flopping is funny to watch. Stack sats. Yeah, it's pretty wild, right? Like, I mean, I come up here every single day and say, not even really necessarily what I think. I mean, I give you what I think too, but I just give you the TA. Like, every time I'm shorting on a pump, people are like, this guy's crazy. And I'm like, now we're short from almost the top, right? And again, like there's things on the chart, right? Like when you have your money flow coming out, like there are signs here, and these signs came early. This money flow has been trending out since, I would say a clear trend down, like ever since this first dump, which is why we look for potential lower highs, which we kind of didn't put in. It was more of a liquidity sweep. But that's with this money flow coming out. Like this is why we don't get bullish at resistance, right? When we trade even when you just trade the volume profiles, right? Like we're looking for shorts at the value area highs no matter what. We took a bunch of scalps in here as well, right? Like when you deviate above this value area high, you have to be looking for shorts. It doesn't mean that you can't break out here and go higher, because that was a situation that could have played out as well. And we were looking at that scenario, right? But it's not that you want to long at resistance, right? If I were to long into the new all-time high, if we did put a big one in here, we would be long from the low of the range when everyone's calling bear market, right? And I'm just saying, everybody's calling bear market here again. But again, we do think could come grab that liquidity a little bit lower. But like the sentiment is crazy. Like ignore sentiment, right? When you hear people like when you watch a live stream, unless you're in the CandleMafia, like just don't even look at the chat, right? Because like everyone in chat's gonna be like bear market, and then people are like, this is it. You guys are idiots. You buy the fear, right? Like it's just like it's a mess. That's why we only stick to the charts. It's crazy. It's crazy. Bada boom, bada bing. The top markers from the previous cycle are printing. Shout out to CJ. Yeah, I mean we talk about this almost every stream. You have the weekly bearish divergence. You have the monthly bearish divergence. Those are signs that are here, right? It's the same thing we saw in 2021. Higher highs on price action, lower highs on your momentum waves, weekly and monthly. But it's not exactly the same, right? And I'm not saying that I can't be the top, but the bearish divergences that we're seeing like on the weekly are more like this bearish divergence, right? It is more of like a smaller bearish divergence, which again, this did wind up causing a lot of pain. Higher highs on your price action, right? Lower highs on your momentum waves, big crash down. But this was not a traditional bear market. I am accepting of something like this happening, but I just wouldn't call this a traditional bear market. This is a traditional bear market, right? So, when you look at this, right, and you also had the weekly bearish divergence here, that was really the top signal, right? This sure gave you a big crash, but this was really the numerical all-time high. Lower highs, and your money flow crossing over into the red. We do see signs of that potentially popping up here. But again, we did not have the real retail peak in sentiment. Maybe this cycle doesn't get the same retail interest as last cycle. And maybe that's a cause of no QE, right? Until again, once we get the QE, right? And speaking of sentiment flip-flopping, just wait, right? Like if we get rate cuts to come in and eventually price pumps, all it's going to take is one thing to pump price, and then everyone's like, I wasn't calling for a bear market. No, I wasn't. I know you got a dump, but I wasn't saying it was a bear market. And it's like, I think you were though. I think you were. So that's why you just don't want to be overly decisive. We could potentially see something like this before coming back up, right? And then at that point, everyone's saying, what the heck? I thought it was a bear market. Why do we pump, right? Like, it's just not that easy to call the tops or the bottoms like this, but a lot of influencers think it's that easy, and that's fine, but I just wouldn't recommend following that. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents on that, guys. Again, this is not a bear market. If you, the top could be in, but this is not a bear market in the way I define it, right? And even if we came down lower, 55%, I wouldn't consider that a bear market either. Maybe a mini bear market. But if you think this is the bear market, right, it's probably because you bought up too high. And that's totally fine, right? You just learn your lesson and then correct it moving forward. But that's what I'm looking at on Bitcoin, guys. We'll see what happens, right? We're holding above the anchored VWAP, or we want to hold above the anchored VWAP. Hang on one sec. Let's come back over to the Bybit chart, right? Hopefully we can continue to hold above this anchored VWAP, get above the range low. Maybe we get the retracement. But even in that case, right, it's really hard. If you ask me if I'm... can you ask Tony if we're using Nightbot for the giveaways or not? Yeah, shout out to Kembro. I think we are. And he's saying, checked last... Oh, super chat. Gotcha. Shout out to Kembro. Thank you for that, bro. And I think we are using Nightbot for the giveaways, and Tony will pin the comment. Sorry I missed the premium, but got some important questions. Please scroll down and answer... learned so much off you. It's slowly clicking into place. 5 questions. Shout out to TDK. I don't see any questions. But I don't know if I'm going to have time to answer 5 questions here on the live stream. But yeah, let me know. I'll try to answer some of them for you, bro. Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah. But I don't see any pictures. Got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. But yeah. So we'll see what happens here, guys. I'm going to let things kind of work themselves out. If I was here for that dip into the liquidity sweep down here, I would be long from the bottom, but I'm not. So I'm just going to let things kind of cool off, see if we get a retracement, see if that 90-minute red dot winds up cooling us off. Are we getting it yet? Not just yet. But I will say this, right? Daily green dot, if we do wind up... Yeah, if we do wind up printing this in 18 minutes, right, we might get that green dot. I would watch for the 90-minute money flow crossover. I wouldn't take that as gospel. I would be very careful here. But again, your key level very simply here is to get over 885 to 212. Flip it to support. And then hopefully you could start to squeeze some of the shorts out here like we were looking at yesterday. Squeeze these shorts, boop, boop, and then push up into the higher levels. And again, at the end of the day, right, even though I don't think it's a bear market, right, take this for what it's worth, right? I don't think this is enough to call for a bear market, right? But if we do get a bounce I'm looking for lower highs and lower lows, right? So, like, this is why, like, in volatile times like this, people just, like, try to jump in and be like, it's the top. No, it's the bottom. No, it's the top. No, it's the bottom. You do not have to do that to make money in crypto. Dollar cost average in, I think if we continue down here, even now would not be like a bad time to dollar cost average in. You know, at the end of the day, especially if we're going to hold some of these levels and see a new all-time high eventually, you know, I'm not going to come up here and say, like, just buy every dip or sell everything we're going to in a bear market, because that's not how the market moves, right? So, you know, I don't think it's a bear market, but I'm still expecting, even if we get the pump up, everyone's going to be like, oh my God, the low's in, the all-time highs. And that's why I recommend you guys subscribe to the channel, because you're only going to get straight information here. You're not going to get any emotional analysis, right? So, like, my overall concept here is that the top is not in, right? But we could still, even after seeing this that we called for, even up here, saying, hey, guys, like, I don't think the bear market is here. For some reason, people thought it was a bear market here, even though we were literally going sideways. But, you know, I still think we could feel more pain down here. And then even if we come back up, everyone's going to be like, oh, my God, bull market's back on. I'm looking for lower highs and lower lows. And they're getting super bullish up here where we're getting bearish, right? Just like here. Everyone's super bullish. We're looking for shorts. Everyone's super bullish. We're looking for shorts. And it's not even really because we're thinking that the bear market is here or we're super bearish or anything like that. It's just like we take the technical trades, right? Like we trade the charts, right? But at the end of the day, everyone gets bullish. We're looking for shorts. Everyone gets bullish. We're looking for shorts based off the volume profile. Everyone's getting bearish, bear market. We're looking for longs. Bear market. We're looking for longs. And like most commonly down here, everybody thought this was the bear market. I got more questions about this being the bear market than this being the bear market, right? And like, look what happened here. And based off the 20% down being a bear market, this was a bear market. But like, if I didn't call this a bear market, I can't call this a bear market, right? Because this is less of a pullback than that. So just take that, you know, that's why, you know, even on these dumps, like from here to here or like from here to here, people freak out. And I'm like, guys, we get dumps. We've gotten dumps bigger than this. And for some reason, the sentiment's even worse up here. And you know what the difference is? There's much more retail. There's much more new investors in at the highs. There's much more people buying the top, which is why people wonder if this is the bear market. If you buy the top on Bitcoin after it hits 100K, right? Getting this dump down is brutal. And you're like, oh my God, what's going on? Is this the bear market that everyone talks about? And when people are new to crypto, they have no other thing to go by, right? So this is why I try to give all this information out for free. So, you know, and again, everyone gets down here, they call for a bear market. And even though I'm potentially expecting to come down here, people are like, bear market, bear market, bear market. We bounce up, oh my God, bull market. You know, we're looking for longs down here. Oh my God, bull market, we're looking for shorts. And then they come down here, they're like, and once this happens, right? Let's say we do hold this anchored VWAP and we do come up here. Everyone's, oh my God, this is it, we're going up. And we will be looking at the case of potentially flipping this POC and sending it out of here. Because at the end of the day, this golden pocket is an area where you can put a higher low in. But we are definitely going to be looking for shorts up here in case it is a lower high. We know that's the higher probability area to put a lower high in. And if all the money flow is pointing down, imagine this. Oh my God, bear market. Oh my God, hope. Never mind. That is like, maybe this is max pain, but like this would be super max pain. Fake everybody out again and then slam it. From a technical perspective, it would make a lot of sense, right? Like news and sentiment aside, this would make a lot of sense. If money flow continues out on the higher time frames, 2-day money flow crosses over into the red, that would make sense. And then everyone's really calling for a bear market here. And then all that liquidity swiped out, boom, send it to 200K. I'm just kidding. I actually, if we do go into new all-time highs, my price targets, go watch my 2025 prediction video, which was filmed. Hang on. Whoops. Hang on. Frankie Candles 2025 prediction. I want to see when this was filmed. This was filmed a month ago. So I wish it said the actual date. It doesn't say the actual date. Hang on a second. This could not have been filmed a month ago. Hold on a second. This was filmed. Oh, why does it not give me the actual date? I could check the studio. Hang on one sec here, guys. Because I want to see something. Right? Where is it? So January 8th, this was filmed. January 8th. All the way here. Right? So price action was here. And in that video, I talked about a potential drop. Right? We looked at all-time high targets. And I even say in the end of that video, I talk about a drop down to 80K. I literally talk about this happening in the video we shot here. And I'm not like trying to brag. I'm just saying I've been anticipating this. This is why I'm not freaking out. And like I wasn't anticipating that to be a bear market then, and I still not now. Right? Doesn't mean it can't be the top, right? That would be stupid to think. right? That would be for me to just lean like, this is definitely the top, 100% we're going down, sell everything. It's not a smart thing, right? Like you want to look at both ends of the spectrum and just read the raw information. So yeah, I do think like even if we have more pain to come in here, eventually that QE is going to come in and send this thing back to the upside. And maybe that's what we see. Maybe like the max pain is the move up. Maybe everybody gets scared out. Maybe we get a black swan. We dip back down into this range. We bing bong around and then they send it back up. In which case, depending on how long that is, maybe that could look like a traditional bear market. Really depends. There's other things that move price, other than just the 4-year cycle, such as looser monetary policy, right? If we, the sooner we get that, the faster we get the move to the upside, right? So yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'm not tripping. Right now. But again, I bought a lot lower. So I'm not saying you don't have to trip. If you bought the top, right, there's definitely reason to be worried here. But again, it's more of a sign of where you bought rather than how bearish Bitcoin is. Structurally, we are hitting into a Fibonacci retracement level. This is business as usual in crypto. I mean, what was this? 20%? Yeah, like even this, like almost 30%. Like that is a bull market dip. Like even down here to the 786 and even down to the structural highs here, 32%. We've seen this before. So yeah, we'll see. Only time will tell, guys. Only time will tell. But one thing I will tell you is if we go into new all-time highs, everyone calling this a bear market is not gonna. They're gonna delete those videos. Dude, like I wasn't saying that was a bear market. But yeah, if we go down into a full 4-year cycle bear market, I'll be like, dang, that's crazy. I thought wrong. Like our thesis was wrong. But we'll be capitalizing on this, right? We'll just short the heck. We could short the heck out of it. But let's see. Let's see. Shout out to Byte said Frankie Candles. It makes sense, but I don't like that everyone and their mother is talking about the same 90 to 96K first, then 70K after. Is that what everyone's talking about? So everyone's gonna make money and be rich. Shout out to Byte. I actually like that. I like that outlook, bro. It's a good way to look at things, right? Sometimes what everyone's expecting is not what you get, right? I kind of feel like that about tapping the 786, right? As we started, coming down here, everyone started talking about, actually yesterday when I was talking about the dump down to 80K and potentially 76K, everyone started talking about 72K. And I saw a lot of people in chat. I don't know, maybe someone made a video about it or something. Everyone's calling for 72K now. And I was like, why is everyone calling for 72K now? And, at one point, everyone was calling for the 75K. And that makes me kind of think, like, front running that 786, half of me makes me think that we want to go take that liquidity. The other half of me thinks, like, maybe, like, and more importantly, everyone's looking at that bottom of the CME gap. Maybe we front run that gap, right, to fill that gap. And then we send that thing, right? But at the end of the day, here's the thing. If you are sitting there trying to figure out if we're going to do this or this, you're trying to figure out the wrong thing, right? You have to have a trading plan, right? So, like, if you think that the bull market is not over, you've come to the thesis that, like, hey, I think QE will come in. I think we're going to go into an all-time high. And by the way, you have to make that call on your own, right? There's no influencer that can tell you that. But let's say you do think that. Your thought process, you should have a plan, right? You shouldn't just say, like, I'm going to dump all my money in here and then hope for all-time highs. Because then what happens if you do get this? Then you're super underwater, right? So maybe you put in a percentage of your money here, and then maybe you get the move up, right? And then you're not in like you want to be in, right? And that's okay, right? But then at least if you get the retracement, you can then, dollar cost average on the way down. This is... You don't have to nail every move, right? You could catch along from here, ride it into the range, and at the end of the day, right, if we get to this level, we're looking for confirmation, right? If we don't get the short confirmation here, we look for the move into the POC 786. If we don't get the short confirmation here, we look to flip this and go to the value area high. If we don't get the short confirmation here, we hold the longs from lower and get out of this range and go to all-time highs, right? But based off money flow, I would anticipate something like that. Just based off trend, right? It's the same thing on why we expected this lower low. It's because of money flow, right? And could that play out? I mean, probably, right? More likely than not, right? The odds would be on your side if you were looking for that. But there is something to, like, if everyone's looking at a certain key level, it's less likely to get tapped. Like, yeah, I think there's something to that for sure. And again, I was thinking that earlier today on that 786. I'm like, maybe that 786 doesn't get tapped, right? But there's never going to be a definitive answer, right? You're never going to get a definitive answer like that when you're trading. So you have to have a thesis, right? You have to have an if this, then that, right? Like when I long, right? When I took a short up here, sure, we're short from 102K. Played out great, right? Made a lot of money this week, right? But I didn't short up here and be like, okay, that's it, lower high, we're going down to 80K. I know, right, that there is a thesis here that, well, hey, I think, if this is going to be the last chance for me to short up here at the highs, that could potentially eventually turn into a swing trade down to 80K. Because I know this is possible. I know the money flow is coming out. And hey, if this is going to be a lower high and we're going to continuously put in lower lows and lower highs and lower lows, maybe that bigger move brings us down to 80K. And we've talked about this all the time, right? Like as this was developing, I explained all my trading plans every single day, right? So, I take this trade thinking, well, like, hey, maybe this will wind up being able to hold this down to 80K, which wound up being the case, and it paid us out great. But when I take that trade, I'm not shorting here and saying, I'm going to short this down to 80K. That's not how trading works. Like if you're like looking for that, right? You're looking for the wrong thing. I promise you that, right? So, I short this and I say, well, hey, let me ride this in the context of our current profile, right? So I short, look to go to the POC. I take profit at the POC, stop loss at break even. Now I wait for price to come up because it could go up or it could go down. This is a fact of the matter. So when people flip flop, right? When people say, oh, you're bullish but you're bearish, that's not like something that anyone who knows what they're doing is going to try to hide. I am bullish and bearish at the same time, at least locally, all the time. I'm always looking at the up or down case. So I ride it from the retracement into almost the value area high, ride it to the POC. I take profit, move my stop loss to break even. Now I'm in a guaranteed winning trade. If price rips, I stop out for profit. If it continues to dump, then I could take more profit at the value area low and then move my stop loss into profit, which I did all live on this live stream with you guys, right? I even moved my stop loss into profit live, right? Now, if price holds the value area low and it stops out that short, I make even more profit. And if it continues to dump down, hey, maybe I can hold that to 80K, which wound up being the case. But at the end of the day, this thing could have pumped from here and it could have pumped from the value area low. But that doesn't mean that, right? So like you're not just going like, I'm going to short here and hold it until 80K. This is what people do on their long-term spot bags. So like, I'm going to buy XRP and I'm going to sell it at $100. This is why most people lose their money in crypto, right? You have to have a plan. You have to take partial profits. You have to protect against loss. And, I do the same thing with my spot bags, but when we day trade and we scalp, you're kind of doing that on a micro level, right? You're like buying, moving your stop loss, and protecting yourself, within minutes or hours or days or whatever, right? Rather than like managing a portfolio over years. So hopefully that makes sense, right? So like, a lot of people online right now are like trying to say either this is the bottom or this is the start of the bear market. That's not how the market works, and it's not how you want to look at things, because if you try to do that, you're gambling. You're like, this is either the bottom and we're going up or it's going to zero. That's a coin flip, right? That's gambling. That's not how you make money, right? The market could do much more than just go up or just go down. It can go up, down. It could go sideways. It could trend up for a lower high. It could trend down for a higher low, right? There's a million things that can happen, and you have to, it's not easy. You got to think of all these scenarios, and you got to come up with a plan that works for you, and you have to protect yourself, lock in your gains, and that's how you actually make money, right? That's how we made money on this short. I did not make money on this short by shorting 102K and saying, that's it, guys. I'm short on Bitcoin because it's going to 80K. I explain my plan. I say I'm short on Bitcoin. I think there is a possibility that, based off money flow coming out, I think there's a good chance that we can come down to 80K, and I will hold my short if that's the case. But I'm not just going to gamble on that, right? I'm going to take profits, move my stop loss, and actually trade the way you should trade, right? And that's what we teach here. I want you guys to actually make money, not just like make gambling content for clicks. So there you go. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Shout out to Kelly. He said, what's with the dude spamming the CME gap is filled? Pretty sure it's not. Shout out to Roland, said CME gap is filled. Put up BTC one chart and click ADJ contract button, bottom right corner, next to time. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that, brother. Let's see. Monthly candle close incoming. Send it to $1 million. Come on. Pump it. God, I don't like that VWAP, man. I don't like that VWAP. Pump this thing for the monthly close. Shout out to Istaphobic. Thank you for the super chat. Said, do you think there's an age like 40 when you'll wake up and be like, I'm Frank now? Like you never met a 5-year-old Frank? Shout out to Istaphobic. I don't know if I understand that either. Is it just Super Friday right now? Do you think there's an age like 40 when you'll wake up and be like, I'm Frank now? Like you never meet a 5-year-old. Oh. Shout out to Istophobic. I don't know exactly what you mean by that. Shout out to Istophobic. I don't know if I lost my ability to read. I've been looking at charts so much that I can't read letters. But Istophobic, bro, let me know in the chat exactly what you mean, and I will answer that for you. Thank you for the super chat. Do not super chat again. You don't have to. Shout out to JB. Thank you for the super chat. Said, is there a way to know if the market has gone to low volume for the moment or the day? Like if there is not a lot of volume? Shout out to Mrs. Candles. Mrs. Candles just came in and stole my Clorox wipes. I bet it is hot in here. I don't know what it is. I get steamy when I'm stream, Mrs. Candles. Come on over here. Give me that hand again, Mrs. Candles. We're getting the bear market is here. It's going to zero, Mrs. Candles. You know we're poor now. We're poor now. I'm just kidding. Let's see. I think they mean like Frank and Frank and no Frankie like no longer feel feel too old to be called Frankie anymore. Yeah, shout out to Ken, bro. To be honest with you, people call me, it really depends. Like different people in my life call me Frank, and certain people in my life call me Frankie. I don't point people in a direction, because it's just natural. Like some mostly like a lot of girls call me Frankie, but a lot of guys call me Frankie too. It really depends on the person. It's just like they just say whatever it is when they first meet me, and then it just sticks. So literally like 50% of people call me Frankie, 50% of people call me Frank, but 100% of CandleMafia calls me Frankie for the most part. I think he's calling you a pro. Shout out to Lasers. Yeah, because I was talking in the premium. Ista, I think you're in the premium, aren't you? I was talking about how 5 years ago would be shocked at like how far I've come in trading, right? Like 5 or 6 years ago would be like, dude, what the heck? Like you figured it out? What the heck? And it's not as easy as just like figuring it out like a light switch. Like, oh my God, I get it. This was the secret. It's a slow progression that you eventually kind of realize like, hey, I'm actually making money now. But yeah, it's 5 years ago would not recognize this person. Let's see. But yeah, let's take a look at some of the altcoins as well, guys. We're gonna keep an eye on shout out to Doc or Doc Bick. Shout out to you, bro. Said Frank, you're so much nicer than me. Yeah, what you guys get on the live stream is what you get in real life. And shout out to anybody who goes out to Bitcoin Vegas. Is anybody going? Let me know. Obviously, we have some time, but let me know if you guys are going. Because if you meet me in real life, you're just going to get this guy. Like, there's no maybe I amp it up a little bit for the live stream, but yeah, this is me. There's no life is too short to pretend you're something that you're not. Let's see. It's a good time to start DCAing. I mean, honestly, not financial advice, but like I said, I was. What did we break? What alert did we hit? Where was that alert? What the heck was that? And we have a bear market warning, guys. We have a bear market warning, and we have an alt season warning. I don't know what that was. That was like an old alert, I think. But let's see. Shout out to Isaac. Said, Frank, you're so cool, and I love it. Shout out to Isaac. You're cool, bro. You're cool. I appreciate you for being here, man. I call you Franco. Let's go. Vegas, baby. Let's go. Listen, guys, if you guys are out there, man, come say what's up. If you see me, please, for the love of God, come say what's up to us. That's my favorite part of doing this, is meeting the Candle Mafia in real life. Let's see. It's going to zero alert. Frankie is a crypto trader on stream and a Forex trader IRL. Shout out to Tony Roaz. Yeah, I only trade GPP, JPY, or whatever the heck it is. That's the dial up. Shout out to Fortnite Chills. Elon Musk said, I saw you yesterday. Elon, you were supposed to keep our secret SpaceX meetings private, Elon. Shout out to Elon Musk. Creighton says, intruder, Dave, Darren, crash, the golden goose is in danger. Shout out to Creighton. But yeah, let's go ahead. I want to jump into Ethereum really quickly, guys, because again, and guys, I want to say, I'm going to go ahead and hide this. I just want to go ahead and say, I never say this, right? Like nothing I ever say online or nothing I ever say on this live stream is ever to like brag or try to say that like we were right or I was right and everyone else is wrong. It's never that, right? The only time I will ever be braggadocious about something working is to brag about the TA, not me, because my whole thing is like you can do this too, right? But with that being said, where are we sitting on Ethereum, guys? Where are we sitting on Ethereum? Let's pull up our key levels here. Now, obviously, we had a lot of key levels that we were looking at here on Ethereum, but and I'll actually start off with the lower time frame range. Don't forget to smash the like button, guys. 1,000 likes, and we will be adding another $350 to today's giveaway. Where we at? So, no, that's not what we wanted to look at. No, it wasn't what we wanted to look at, right? So, obviously, I actually got rid of our... Do I still have this? No. So, obviously, we were bing-bonging around here on Ethereum. And what do we say? This has been the same on Ethereum for a while. I'm not interested in trading this on Ethereum. Why? I wanted to wait for a move into bigger key levels, right? Either a move into the golden pocket anchored VWAP for a retracement and a bigger drop to the downside, or a move into, actually I already took it off the chart, but I'll put it back up here, right? Or we were looking for a move into the golden pocket or the 786. And most recently, we came down to the value area low. We were in the golden pocket 786 where we said, hey, you know, you could look for a daily bullish divergence, right? But if it doesn't print, it probably won't play out, right? Lower lows on your price action into your golden pocket 786 retracement. You don't get the bullish divergence, but you do get the push into the retracement level. Once you lose the 786, what was also here, guys? Let me know in the chat if anybody remembers what was next to that POC. Never mind. The POC, the 786, the POC was next to this. But if we look at our bigger range here, guys, that 786 was obviously confluent. And again, we went over this a million times. 786 POC. As soon as we start playing around with that 786, we're like, hey, you lose this POC and 786. Where are we expecting price to go? Right into the value area low, where we also had a front run of the value area low once before, right? So let me just get rid of this real quick, right? So we had the front run of the value area low, which was sitting at about $2,097. And at the end of the day, get into your value area, rejection, try to get out one more time, get stuck underneath. You look to go to the POC and then the value area low. You front ran the value area low slightly here, which made me very suspicious of getting another push down here. And I know a lot of people thought ETH was dead, but we talk about this big wick to the downside. I could not long in here, right? If I did long, it would have to be in the context of a small time frame. Right? You're looking for a push to the upside with a stop loss locally down below. But at the end of the day, if you wanted to take a swing long here, right, your stop loss has to go all the way underneath this wick, which is a horrible risk to reward regardless of where you're targeting, unless you're targeting $40,000, right? So my thing was I was either going to wait for a push up into our golden pocket or a push down into these key levels to see a bounce. And here we are pushing into the the value area low. And we did get some bullish confirmations down here. I'm not going to go over them right now, but we did get some local bullish divergences, money flow coming up, etc. at the value area low. And where did we get the bounce from the value area low? At this point, you're just within your range. Now the nice thing here is, where'd that monthly naked point of control go? I delete that by accident? Where'd my MPOC go? What the heck? Monthly naked point of control disappeared, guys. Dang. I'm going to have to go refine that. But it is sitting just below that value area low at about $2,000 is really, I think, where that monthly naked point of controls comes in. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it up on TradingView. Oh, maybe. Yeah. Well, there it is. So you have the monthly naked point of control right there. So, it doesn't mean that you have to come down and test that naked point of control, but it is there, right? So, we were looking for this long position down here in the premium Discord, and I'm not going to lie, we were, very, it seems crazy. Thinking like, hey, I think this might go back down to the value area low, but we were talking about this not only on the premium, but we were talking about coming down here at least on the live streams. But in the premium Discord, we were actually looking for a long setup down here. But here we are, guys, right? Like if you watch this live stream, I hope you guys see this, right? Again, I'm not saying this because we're right. I'm saying this because there's a lot of things I want you guys to take what I look at and understand. I don't know why I drew this. This is one thing we were not looking at, but I guess you could consider that a bear pennant. But I just drew that out of habit. But we look at very specific things here. Like when I say I don't want to take a long here, it's for a reason, right? And when I say I don't want to trade here, it's because it's very choppy action, right? I'd rather wait for the key level, and we'll see. This might not even hold. At the end of the day, right, like, we're above the value area low. As long as you can remain above this value area low, we could look for a push into the POC, flip the POC. You could start to look for a bigger move up. Now, you do also have some local levels in here as well, right? You have your... it's not necessarily just going to be a very simple value area high, right? It's not going to, price doesn't move like this. Price doesn't move like this, right? Like that's not what I would expect, right? It's going to be a journey. A little bing, a little bang, and then you get a little pasta fajoule. You know what I'm saying? But, these are going to be, more key levels. So I'll pull some resistance levels if the move up on ETH continues, and then we'll talk about if it continues down, right? Very simply put, if it does continue up, POC is your next level of resistance, 2320. And then if, bada boom, and then we could pull up that. So yeah, these will be the local levels, right? Get above, go towards that POC. That's your first target. Get above the POC. You could shoot into potentially the golden pocket value area low POC confluence. Get above that. You could look to go to the 786 value area high. But at the end of the day, right, the longer term move is probably going to be like some kind of a choppy journey, right, through this larger profile, targeting the macro value area high. That's if the low is in. I don't know if the low is in. It's very hard to say. If I pull up Market Cipher, we could try to see what Market Cipher says. But you got to be aware that you do have key levels of resistance up here, right? You have that local, this is going to be resistance, but at the end of the day, like the key bigger levels, hold the value area low, stay above it, look to go to the POC, flip the POC, begin your journey up to the value area high, right? If we get another drop to the downside, right, I would look, you got that monthly naked point of control coming in at about, $2,035, right? You also do have liquidity sitting at, just below $2,000. So, if you do come down there, you might be able to get a little bit of a liquidity sweep before getting back into the range and then getting an 80% setup back up to the range high. So that's what I would look at, right? We've been waiting for this level to come in. We tapped it. We're getting a bounce. And, again, another thing I would look at is let's see if we could get the weekly bullish divergence here. Daily bullish divergence, right? You have the lower lows on your candles, bodies, and your wicks, right? Lower lows into your key level of support. And then, once this winds up printing the green dot, we might be able to see a continuation to the upside. And to be quite honest with you guys, I made a ton of money on the short on Bitcoin from the top that I might even throw some low risk, tight stop loss, low leverage, long trades on some of this stuff to see if I could catch the swing back to the upside. And if I stop out, there's small losses and the shorts continue to pay. At this point, right, should you be shorting here, right? In my opinion, this is not the time to short, right? The time to short was up here, right? So it's kind of, I will potentially be looking for longs on a lot of this stuff. Again, I showed that, a position popped up earlier on Ethereum here, right? Just waiting to come down to these key levels. But we also do have liquidity down there. So just be careful, right? If we get another drop down, look to come to the MPOC, reclaim it, sweep the liquidity, and then we might be able to send it back to the upside. But that daily bull div printing is probably going to be the thing that gives you the next bigger pump to the upside. Taking a look at Solana. Let's see. Check in on chat real quick. Shine says bottom not in. What are you thinking, bro? 70K, 75K, 20K, 3K? What do you think? Let me know. Let's see. Don't short support, baby. CJ, that's what I'm talking about, brother. That's what I'm talking about. Jesse says smash that like button. 1,000 likes, guys. Let's do it, baby. We'll give away $350 in Solana. Let's see. Shout out to FGH. Said, what is the best way to onboard fiat to Blowfin? However you want. You could send it from a wallet. You could send it from another exchange. You can, up to you. Let's see. We closed bearish under the anchored VWAP. True, Frankie. Shout out to Crypto Trader XXX. Oh, man. Let's see. Daily. And again, this may not be to the dollar. No, we closed above it. We closed above it, baby. Send it to $1 million. Green dot printing. 90-minute money flow. Come on, baby. Come on. Man, I'll be honest, right? What I would be watching for the bigger move up, is going to be 90-minute money flow crossover into the green is the thing that will be likely to give you the continuation to the upside, the continuation of the trend, right? So you could get little, get a little pullback, right? Little lower highs. Higher lows, right? We can look for little pullbacks, but I would expect the continuation of the trend. Maybe you get a little head and shoulders here, right? Boom. But watch this money flow. Watch this money flow. This red dot on the 90-minute prints, and who knows, right? Like, I'm not saying you have to guaranteed wait for this. You might just be able to yoink out here. I got to stop saying yoink. No, I could say yoink out. I can't say the other one. But yeah, I would watch these. Let's check the 24-minute. Yeah, I don't know. This looks like bullish consolidation to me, to be quite honest. But you got to be a little bit careful. You got to be a little bit careful because, let's see, 80-minute, 30-minute green money flow crossover. Check the 8-hour. 8-hour, oh, yeah, green dot's confirmed. Just trying to do this live here. 12-hour green dot confirmed. Daily green dot printing. Yeah, listen, if we hold above that anchored VWAP, get above this $85,212 zone, that's where I think you could potentially start squeezing some of the shorts to the upside. But, if that 90-minute could just give us a little pullback into some local fibs, I would absolutely love that. That would be very, very nice. I would actually appreciate that. Or did we already pull into this fib? I've had a crazy day. No. So I would love to maybe, pull down here a little bit. But again, if we're just going to aggressively squeeze up, we might get it. So not financial advice. But I would prefer to wait, even though it does look a little bit pumpy here, right? You got a little, it's a bull pennant. It's got to go up. It's a bull pennant. It's breaking out. It's a bull pennant. This has to go up. Impossible to not go up. I'm just kidding, obviously. But I sound like sketch. I'm just kidding. But yeah, this does look like bullish consolidation to me, but I would just be careful. Yeah, oh man, 45-minute green dot about to print. I don't know. I made a lot of money on the shorts, guys. I kind of got some money to blow on some risky positions, to be honest. I took a couple risky positions this week. But yeah, I'm the sound thing to do at the end of the day. 30-minute money flow crossing over into the green. You're 45 minutes about to print a green dot. I would just watch this, your 90-minute, your 1 hour. Yeah, I don't know. Unless this 90-minute red dot could potentially cool you off, but it might get stepped on the way this market cipher B looks. Yeah, that 45-minute green dot prints, you might be able to step on it. Yeah, we'll see. It would have to be an aggressive entry. I just personally don't trade like that. I don't aggressively trade breakouts unless I have a reason on the order flow to look for that. Shout out to Cardano boy. Shout out to you, bro. Says I think we go lower. I think it's definitely in the cards. I think we're going lower too. Overall, right? I don't think the bear market is here, but I also think we're going lower. Those two things could be true at the same time. Right? I think if we get a retracement and we get above the range high here or range low, I think we could push up into these levels potentially. Right? I forgot who said it. Somebody said everyone's looking at that. Maybe it doesn't happen. I would tend to agree with that. Right? But it doesn't mean I'm not going to look to it. But I would keep it in mind. If we just come down from here, I'm looking for a break of this level, push through the liquidity into our next key level of support, sitting between 76.6 and about 73.667. That's our next big level. As far as catching a position here, it gets a little bit risky in my opinion, right? Because you're really just trading the breakout. And check the 4-hour. Yeah, 4-hour VWAP's rolling over. So, it would probably be a little safer in my opinion for me to potentially wait for a break of the range low and a retest into a key level to catch an entry. Could enter an aggressive long, but, I don't know. That's just not how I trade. I would rather wait for a retracement for a higher low and a continuation up. Let's see. Big green candle on the 1 minute. Let's go. Send it to $1 million. I'm getting some kind of sketchy scam call right now. Let's see. Squeeze the like, not the shorts, baby. Shout out to DV. Let's go. Let's go. All right, so let's take a look at Solana real quick. Really, to be honest with you, I'd probably be a little more interested in longing Ethereum. Yeah, I do think, even if you do come up locally, right, even if you do just squeeze up here, eventually this 90-minute green dot will cool you off. I would just rather to wait for that to play out for me to enter, get a better entry, or a safer entry, I should say. Tickle that like button, baby. Let's go. Yeah, Soul. Shout out to Jay Violet. Okay, so let's take a look at Solana. Obviously, guys, we've been looking at this on Solana for, a minute. break down below the value area high, right? We had the 786 up here. We knew once we lost that, we were coming to the value area high. We got a little bounce off that, and then once we got accepted into this range, we overall expect to move to the POC, get stuck under the POC, go to the value area low. Yesterday, I was looking at this low here on Solana saying I do not like the low. Even this one, did not like the low, stuck under the POC, back down to the daily. I still didn't like this low. I wanted to see the value area low tapped, right? Go back to last night's live stream if you didn't see this, because this is important. Right? When you front run a value area low like this, more often than not, you will go touch it. Right? I didn't like the low here. There's a reason for that. This one, we front ran the daily and the value area low, right? So it's at least, it's more likely to at least test the daily. But even at the daily, right? I don't like this low because we're so close to tapping that value area low and we're below the POC. So unless we reclaim the POC to get out of there, we knew, get stuck under the POC, go to the value area low, and you literally just SFP the value area low for a big bounce to the upside. Right? I don't know how big this I would call this. 16% bounce. That's pretty nice. A little more than that, right? 18% bounce. But, that's nice. Right at the value area low, you front ran the daily, but I'd rather leave that untapped than the value area low. And where do you expect price to go, guys? 80% setup. This is why we teach this every single weekday at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Value area low, flip it to support, POC, hold above the POC, get above that 786. I'm looking to come up in here between 159.10 and 168.96. Just simple volume profile stuff. The sooner you learn about volume profiles, go hit that beginner series to learn about the volume profiles. Bearish retest, big move down, POC, lose the POC, you look to go to the value area low. Once you hit the value area low with bullish confirmation, right, the question is, do you have any bullish reversal patterns here? Obviously, you do. You have, on the 90-minute, this is just a random time frame I'm on, but you do have those bullish divergences into that key level of support with money flow coming up on the 90-minute with a confirmed daily green dot. So maybe we could see another rotation of this volume profile from the value area low, hold above the POC, look to go to the golden pocket, right? You still have to get above that 786 again, but that's what I would look for. Yeah, and really the more significant bullish divergences were here on the 4-hour. Same thing on Bitcoin. So those 4-hour bullish divergences, 4-hour bullish divergences, that's it. You come down to the low, bullish confirmations, look to at least go to the POC, flip that POC, look to go to the value area high. But again, this is a zone at the golden pocket 786 between 159.10 and 168.96. So, and this would be an area, right, based off of 2-day money flow in the red. We would have to look at this, major levels of resistance, possible area to put in a lower high and a lower low, possible area to put a lower high and a lower low. This next level is at about 181 to 193 at the previous value area high. And when you just look at this from a higher time frame perspective, guys, this is simply, I'll even hide all these local levels, right? Just to show you guys how reliable these volume profiles are. We could look at all the key levels to try to call everything to an absolute T. That's great. But when you just look at this from a volume profile perspective, this is simply trading auction market theory. Very, very simple. You have one value area above. You have one value area below. I'll even hide the dailies to clean things up even more. You simply have a value area down here, right? And we've looked at this many a times. Again, not saying it to brag, just saying it because it's the truth, right? Value area down here. Break out of the value area. We start a new one here. Once you lose this area of balance, and you find imbalance, price is very likely to seek out the fair value, the previous fair value, which is sitting down here. So we know once we lose this range and we get accepted into this range, we could look for the POC and the value area low of this next range, right? And then you come to the low, you could look for longs. Again, there were bullish confirmations here. You could look for longs, get above the POC, go to the value area high, and once we break out of this range, you could potentially expect to get accepted into this upper range. Value area low, POC, value area high. Simple as that, right? It's not as simple as that, but that's the theory, right? That's what we look for. That's what we see play out. But obviously, you have to take the context of the market into account, right? We're not just going to look for a fill of this range into the value area high and then come in here and go to the value area high up here, right? Because we have to analyze money flow as we come into these resistance levels, right? We could look for shorts up here. If we come up here, these are both areas to potentially put in lower highs based off our money flow. But we'll see what happens. If we could continue up and this high time frame money flow is crossing over into the green, maybe we can get a continuation. We'll have to see what happens as we come into those levels. I would like to think the Soul unlock is priced in. I would think that too. Let's see. All right, so let's continue on here. What do we got? Are we ready for giveaways yet? Yeah, I think we're ready for the giveaways, guys. I did not realize how long we spent on Bitcoin today. But we took a look at Solana. We took a look at Ethereum. Took a look at Bitcoin. Pretty deep dive on Bitcoin today. But I think it's important as there's a lot of fear in the markets, guys. And hopefully your boy Frankie Candles can be here to help you guys put some, again, if you've been watching this live stream for quite some time, you've been anticipating a potential loss of this range and a fast move down through this zone. And here we are. Right now, technically holding above support. It's okay if we break down. If we do break down, we're looking to come back down here lower, scrub back to the beginning of the stream to get the full sauce on the levels down here on Bitcoin. But again, I hate to say it again, but we talked about the fast move up and the fast move down. Not just saying like, oh, this looks similar, this is going to happen. But no, we look at this as we know the liquidity sitting there. We know there's no key support up here. And we know if we're going to get a quick drop down, we might flush that liquidity and settle up on this key level of support. And we saw that happen to a T. Go back and watch like any of the market updates that show the worst case scenario or I think we might have had the live stream that said worst case scenario where I cover that stuff. And just go look at what we were looking at to anticipate this. And we're just seeing that quite literally play out. And I love coming up here and showing this to you guys. And I know it sounds crazy to call for these levels, even on Solana. I'm like, I don't know, guys. Like, if we lose the POC, we might even come back down here. I know it sounds crazy, but I got to pull up these levels. I say it all the time, right? Like, I sound crazy, but we have to bring them up. And what happens when the market's like, oh, my God, bear market. What's going on? Like, what's happening? Why is everything breaking down? It's just like, no, like, we expected these prices. We've had these levels on the chart since we were up in this range, right? Because this is the next key level of support. And it's important that you understand the way that market actually moves. But anyway, let's continue on here. Bada boom, bada bing. When giveaway, let's do it. We're going to do the giveaway right now. I got to hop out of here. All right. At Tony D, can you hear me in your AirPods? Do you like the sound of my voice in your ear? Is it getting hot and moist in your ear? All right, it's getting a little weird. Guys. Let's pick me, Nightbot. BTC dominance. Yeah, I'll take up while I'm waiting for Tony to pop in here to do the giveaways. By the way, is Tyler? Do you know what are our giveaways at right now? I know we have a guys. I might get a haircut here over the weekend. I might. My hair's crazy right now. I got to get a haircut. I tried to grow it out. I'm gonna try to doing something different here. Bada boom, bada bing. Let me just double check that Tony D is ready. Gen Z said sus. I could add zest to it. I'll add some zest to it. Mrs. Candles is like, what the heck is he doing up there? Yeah, I can't tell you how many times like I'm doing something crazy on stream and Mrs. Candles opens the door and I'm like, I got caught red-handed. I'm like, oh my God. Let's see. Oh, Tyler said 10 bags of ADA and 350 in Soul. All right, baby. Let's go. Shout out to Tyler Durden. Thank you for that, brother. All right, let's see. Yeah, shout out to Dirty 8. We got 1K on one stream. We got 997 on the stream the other night. Unbelievable. And also, shout out to Michael. I forget his last name, but Michael was able to guess that I had a bag of Milanos on my desk. So we're giving him $350 in Solana as well. Last winner drawn. Okay, yeah, so the last winner drawn will be the 350 Soul winner. So the last winner will get the 350 in Soul. The rest are going to get a little Cardano goodie bag for watching the Frankie Candles live stream. Over 300 entered, ready whenever, turning slow mode on. Let's do it. Tony D, fire when you're ready. If you guys put anything in the chat, drop those candles, baby. Drop those candles. And let's see what happens. Frankie getting wiki with the wax in the mafia. Shout out to Lucky Thoughts. Lucky's Thoughts. What is going on, bro? Come on. We're rooting for K Diggity today. Shout out to K Diggity. We're rooting for you tonight, bro. Michael's already on that list. All right. Beautiful. Which is actually pretty crazy because if you think about it, Michael's going to be getting, Michael's going to be getting a few Soul, which, at one point was like almost $1,000. Nightbot, pick me, please. Shout out to Golden Child. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let me just make sure I didn't miss any super chats while we're calling those winners. Come on, baby. Come on. Yeah, shout out to the Fibinator. Said the Discord chat is killing the trades. Let's go. Shout out to the Fibinator. That's a great name, bro. That's a great name. Let's see. Come on, baby. Come on. Should we play some music? Should we play some? Hey, yo, Jay. Can we get some Ratchet one time? Bum, 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 bum. All right, there we go. Michael is in the chat with the giveaway. That is for guessing the bag of Milanos is on my desk. Let's go. Mr. 420. Shout out to Mr. 420. All winners will be pinned to the top of the chat after this, guys, but I'm just going to call them out for the ones that I see because chat is moving kind of quick. Chandio. I don't know if I said that right, but we got Big Huggies. Hey, shout out to the big diapers out there. Let's go. Let me see. Where do I don't know. I don't have a lot of music that doesn't have lyrics. It's kind of hard to
Hey,
Oh, I like this song.
hey, life is what you make it. Days like this, yeah, I swear that
Mr. Aurora, let's go,
I
baby.
got time, but I'm always moving too fast.
Check on
So
Bitcoin.
this summer, man, I swear I'm about to lay back.
This is Phoebe's favorite song.
I don't wanna
Satoshi Stacker, let's go.
I just wanna chill up at the house and somehow still get money cause I'm broke.
Law of One. Come on.
I just wanna hold you
Polar, let's get it. Og Life. Shout out to Og Life. Let's go. Shout out to Khan. I don't know who the last one is. I'm not gonna know which one's the last one. Shout out to Khan. I think I think Khan, you're the last one, so I think you got the $350 in Solana. There we go. I gotta find some music without lyrics, guys, so we can listen to some jams while we call those giveaways out. That's not a knife. Shout out to B Team Crypto. Welcome in, B Team. Good to see you. Cali Crypto, dude. What is going on? Dropping those candles in the chat. Shout out. Rob the Crypto Stop said, winners, sign up for the free Discord link in the description down below. Yeah, go to the giveaway portal to claim your prize. You have to claim your prize within 7 days, or it expires. I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding. That is true, but it's not that dramatic. But yeah, you have 7 days to claim, guys. Congrats to all the winners. On Bitcoin, guys, it's pretty. I'll just drop you guys. I'll leave you guys with this going into the weekend. The goal here is just because we closed the daily candle above. Really, what I wanted here. Number one was above the anchored VWAP. Number two is to reclaim the range low here. I really would have preferred to close the daily candle up here. That would have been much more bullish in my opinion. Doesn't mean we can't come up, but at this point, this is the key level to look at. Winners have been pinned. Yeah, guys, if you want to check if you won the giveaway, click the pin chat at the top of the chat, because that's where pin chats go. And yeah, if you're on there, you'll want a giveaway, get in the free Discord, and number one, hang out in there and hang out with one of the best trading communities, not one of the best, the best trading communities on earth. But also go to the giveaway portal and claim your free prize. And shout out to everybody who just won. Let's see. Let it rip. Shout out to Mike Vito. But yeah, guys, we got to hold above that anchor VWAP, 83,560. If we can get above the 85,212 level, that'd be great. But if we get stuck underneath here, oh man, lose 80K again. I would look to fill that liquidity into $76,000 to $75,000 with the honorable mention. Remember, I'm just giving it all here. Weekly level, 75K, almost even. And then, this level is the structural highs at 73,850. But for the most part, if we wind up losing this low, again, this would be perfect, guys. If we hold this and send it, that is literally the situation that we've been looking at forever. Put a higher low in on the golden pocket and send it. I'm not willing to call that just yet based off money flow. Again, any bigger pumps to the upside as of right now, until we see money flow come back up, have to be looked at as lackluster retracements for turns around back to lower prices, right? And you guys know where those resistance levels are. If you missed it, scrub to the beginning of the stream. And yeah, go check that out. And yeah, we'll see. If we lose 80K again, I'm probably looking for that moving down into this next key zone where we will be looking for longs in the premium Discord, just like we were down here. So with all that being said, That's all the time I got for tonight's live stream, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight on a Friday night. There's a lot of places you could be, but you chose to spend it with the best trading community on YouTube. Shout out to Nirvana. Shout out to Gen Z. Shout out to K Diggity. Shout out to Tony D on vacation, still hustling in the chat. I appreciate you so much. Shout out to Tyler Jordan, Rob the Crypto Stomp, Chemistry Pro, Darren Does Things, Dave Digital, Crypto Billy, Crypto Anon, all the goats, all the mods in the chat. Show them some love on the way out. Shout out to Lasers, Wick589, Wick's Wife Fine 89, Jesse, our Like Police. Shout out to you, bro. Og Life, Vicky, K Diggity. I don't know if I said that yet. Erica, Satoshi Stacker. Congrats on the win, bro. Cryptic Crabman said, I'm short at the moment. Shout out to Cryptic Crabman. Me too. I don't hold any longs right now, unfortunately. I would be holding the long if I was there at that SFP at the low, but I wasn't, so I'm not long. I only hold my short positions right now, but I will be looking for longs here, potentially back to the upside. But until tomorrow, Monday, have a great weekend, guys. Go touch some grass. The charts will be here when you get back, and hopefully, we don't get crazy volatility this weekend. Hopefully, things just kind of go sideways, and we kind of wiggle around, and we can get some, what is it called? Some context and clarity on what this market's going to do next. But we've been pretty good at calling the moves here, guys. Link to the Discord, the premium Discord, the free Discord, all our exchange affiliates, whatever you guys are looking for a place to trade, get into the Discord. You can check all the links in the description down below. And with all that being said, smash that like button on your way out, subscribe to the channel, turn on notification bells, and I will see you guys on Monday. Same place, same time, right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frank Candles YouTube channel. That's all I got. I love you guys. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong!
What's next for me, Joe? I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the is it? They should have had them two bells ready. Spit shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, though they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
The suspense was real. Nobody thought it was coming back. I tricked you. Say it. I scared you right now, jumping back on the mic and screaming. Tell me I did. Tell me I did. I don't know. I didn't know what I was going to do for the fake out here, but yeah. Have a great weekend, guys. I'll see you on Monday. Same place, same time. You know the rest. Hasta pasta. Bing bong. Unclick the like button. Unclick the like button.
Here we go.
Please. Please. Oh, God, 981. Unclick it. Unclick it, guys. Dislike. Unlike the video. Bing bong.
On the road, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top
All right.
of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know.
We start next week with a $350 Solana giveaway. Have a great weekend. That's all I got. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.